Yo, it was good. Back again, talking about how to get over people. Like, how to get over people when you're heartbroken. Um, and the first point that I wanted to bring up was just learning how to love yourself. I feel like that's such an underrated skill that people undermine because they think it's obvious, or they think because, you know, or because they don't want to admit the fact that they don't love themselves that, they'll avoid it. But you really do have to learn how to love yourself, because that's the only way that you'll really get over this person. You have to be comfortable with being alone. You have to be okay with being by yourself for a little bit. Because though you know, at a time this person was a huge component of your life, right now they're gone. So you got to fill that space with some, but it can't be something that doesn't matter. It has to be something substantive because that person was important and substantive, right? So I guess the default would be to fill that gap with somebody who can replace that person. But that's backwards. Instead of looking for another connection immediately and possibly hurting yourself even more by jumping into something you're not necessarily ready for, take a time to take the time to pause, understand the situation, and heal that gap by yourself. Fill that with a hobby and interest, or let that sit and simmer and just be with it for a little bit. Feel that emotion, feel that sadness, because if you nullify it, you won't really learn the lesson. um you won't really learn what you were meant to learn from it. So learn to love yourself. It's such an underrated, like, it's a superpower. If Because if you love yourself, you may be heartbroken. It may be a detriment to you that somebody breaks up with you or breaks your heart, but at the end of the day, you're still going to be good because the foundation of it all is the fact that you love yourself, and that is the most secure thing that you can have. I promise you. Secondly, you know, going alongside this idea of learning to love yourself, in order to get over somebody, you can't you can't like you can be sad, but you can't let yourself be sad like all the time, all day. At some point, even if you have to fake being happy, it would be better to do that than to allow yourself and just have pity for yourself all day and just sit in your bed and doom scroll. You have to fake the positivity. Like, I'm sure you've heard it. Like, a lot of famous people will say this in interviews. They'll be like, in order to become the person that you want to be, you like you have to fake being that person. Or like, how do you go to sleep at night? you you know you don't automatically fall asleep. You act like you're asleep, then you fall asleep. But it's the truth. If you act like if you fake being a positive person, at some point it's not going to be fake anymore. If you fake being over this person, at some point it's not going to be fake anymore. It's going to be real. Call me crazy, call me whatever you want, but it works. It really does. Because if you just sit there and you let yourself be sad all day, guess what? You're just gonna be sad all day, and it's gonna roll, and no, it's gonna roll, and it's gonna pile into a bigger problem because you're not allowing yourself to heal. So even if you don't know where to start, you have to fake and act like you do. Do the things that you think people that are moving on would do, and eventually, I promise you, you'll move on. And I want to preface this whole conversation with this. I like to think this is a conversation, even though I can't hear what you're saying or how you're responding. I'm not trying to say that I'm on this higher pedestal. I understand, having a connection, and severing that connection with somebody is difficult. You have a heavy heart, you know, you cry maybe. Um, you can't even consume the idea of them being with another person, but you have to get over it. Because if you allow yourself to sit in that feeling forever, you're never going to be able to find that next person. In fact, in the process of having all that self pity, you might even lose yourself. And that's the most dangerous part about this. If you let it get so bad to a certain point, you'll lose yourself. And that's the last thing you want. Um, because life doesn't care. And speaking of that, there was a quote that I wanted to say, and hold on, I have it up right here. I don't want to get it wrong. It's by Michael Beasley. Um, I was hungry by myself, and tomorrow came. I was hungry by myself, and tomorrow came. And I feel like this perfectly encapsulates, you know, the idea that I'm trying to portray to you. You know, whether this person was the love of your life or not, tomorrow's still gonna come. You can't sit in your sadness and sorrow and just soak and be sad for yourself all day. At some point, you have to get up and you have to start respecting yourself. Again, bringing back what I talked about earlier, learning how to love yourself. Alongside that comes self respect. Learning how to respect yourself is learning how to love yourself as well. And you have to respect yourself enough to get up and do something. And it won't be in one day. It may not even be in a month. It may not be in 3 months. It may not be in six. It may not be in a year. But at some points, it will happen as long as you put yourself in a direction so that it can happen. But if you just, if you're just if you're just counterintuitive and you don't allow yourself to heal, you're going to be sad forever. Again, even if you have to fake it, fake it, fake it. Because at some point, it won't be fake anymore. At some point, it'll be real and you'll just be over that person. You have to get out of this victim mentality that, oh my goodness, the world is against me. You're not the first person to be heartbroken. And you will definitely not be the last. This probably won't even be your last time being heartbroken. But you can't let yourself drown forever. You have to learn how to swim. You cannot let yourself drown forever. You have to learn how to swim, or at least tread. Because let me put it like this: regardless of, you know, how much that connection with that other person meant to you, it's gone now. And you just have to face that. Maybe you won't be okay with it at first, but guess what? You're still going to have to wake up in the morning and face it. So why not learn to be okay with it instead of sulking and dragging your feet and, not eating, not brushing your teeth, not showering because of how sad you are, sitting in your bed and scrolling on TikTok for hours because of how sad you are. Again, I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal right now. I've been there. Again, it's hard. I understand. But you have to get up. At some point, you have to get up. At some point, you have to respect yourself enough to get up. Life is not one dimensional. I realize this. Situations are different. Circumstances may change. The reason why you ended things with this person or why they ended things with you is important as well. But at the end of the day, if you know you have to get over them and you're not allowing yourself to get over them, the only obstacle in the way is you. That's just the truth. You can be as sad as you want. And screw it, you can say everything I'm saying in this video is BS. And you can be like, I'm just gonna, continue to allow myself to be a bum. But will that really make you feel fulfilled? You can click off of this and be like, you know, what is this guy Thoughtless saying? He's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. But at the end of the day, guess what? Like I said before, you're still gonna have to wake up and feel that heartbreak, and you're still gonna have to face that. So at least face it bravely. Learn to love yourself, respect yourself, fake it. Even if you have to fake it, fake it. You know, life is gonna come at you no matter what. So you might as well, you might as well face it. Yeah, that's all I got for y'all, man. I'll see y'all.